Monday. Sorry. It's like a Tuesday in terms of our preparation. So it was good work today, and I feel like we've put the loss behind us and applied the lessons we learned, and they came out with a great attitude today. We had good meetings this morning. We'll have some more meetings this afternoon, and then tomorrow will be like a Wednesday for us. So just focusing on continuing to improve and trying to get a win this week on Thursday night.
With the punting situation, is there anything you guys can do to switch that up at all?
Yeah, I mean we're working on some things continually. I would say if there's a positive in the punting situation is that we're not getting many return yards against us. So it's always
something.
Yeah, so that's something. I know Matt's working very, very hard and to do better. It's important to him. He's a heck of a good kid. He doesn't take it lightly. He works and he works. Maybe he overworks. Maybe he overthinks. He's just one of those guys that's so conscientious. So just trying to calm him down. And you boomed a good one the first one, and then struggled a little. So we just got to keep encouraging him to do his best. And that's what we're trying to do.
What are your options there?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. We might have a trick up our sleeve. No, we have a couple things, but see, here you are. Ask me that question when you're just looking over there like I am, watching our option. No one's gonna look. We've got some guys that have punting background, but right now, we're gonna just keep, like I said, keep helping Matt along and keep helping him improve. And as we do that, try to develop some other options if we need them.
How are Connor and Dion doing?
He did not practice today, and I would say that he's very questionable. He, has a knee sprain. He was actually walking without a limp. He has a brace on, so we'll just have to see. Alex was out here. Dion didn't do much. We're a little beat up right now, but we'll get healthied up by Thursday. Hopefully, have as many guys back as we can, and the guys that can't play, they'll support the guys that are in there playing for them, just like we've been doing all year.
Kenny Young wandered in a little late.
Kenny had a death in the family, and so his grandmother passed away, unfortunately, and so we made sure that he got back to Louisiana for the funeral. It's very important for him to be there, and he'll be in the meetings this afternoon, and he'll catch up. So that's about it. So,
is there any more of a radical difference in two teams you're playing than seeing Stanford and seeing Cal?
Yeah, pretty different. That's kind of the nature of the Pac-12. Is every game's a little bit different, whether it's offensively or defensively, kind of the schemes that you see. But in terms of two different styles of offense, no, I don't think you get any more radical than these two. Stanford was like old school football, and Cal's like new school football. Both of them have. I tell you, one similarity is both have outstanding quarterbacks. These two guys, Hogan and Tyler. These guys are. Goff he's pretty darn special. You watch the Utah game. I watched it on TV, so you kind of see his facial expressions, and he'd thrown 4 interceptions, and you would have never known it. And he has that great mindset. I think that all great quarterbacks have, is that they're able to put a bad play behind them and keep going, put a good play behind them and keep going. And I guess as an observer of football, it's been fun to watch him mature. As somebody that has to play him on Saturday, it's not that fun.
Which style meshes with your defensive personnel better?
I don't know either. You have to be able to try to defend both. We struggled a little bit, as you guys know, on last Thursday night. Hopefully we play better this Thursday night.
Does the situation this season feel similar at all to last year? You had the 2 early losses in October, and then and what did you learn from
Well, I hope it does. But I'll tell you what you learn. I was telling the guys this the other day, is I counted up. I told them after the game, I said, I've coached a lot of football. I've been in this situation before. And then I went back and I counted how many games I've coached actually in my career. And I don't know that this is exact to the number, but it's like 590 plus, maybe 600. And so you've been through some 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes even more game losing streaks. And I think the important thing is that you don't rush to the other side of the boat and start taking on water and then rush over here. If you believe in what you're doing, you do it, and you keep trying to do it better and make improvements, and you get rid of the things that aren't working, and you improve on the things that are working, and you try to put your players in the best position you can, but you don't panic. And So we've learned that, and we're going to be better for it. And it's about having a positive attitude. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about being part of the solution and not part of the problem, and hanging together, and all those coach cliche things. But my one thing is just try to stay the course if you believe the course is the right course, and we do. So.
How did Colton look in the second half against Stanford?
Colton played well. You're always trying to look for silver linings in anything, and I think if there's a silver lining from Thursday night, it's that Fred Ulu-Perry got a ton of time at guard because he had to play the whole second half in place of Alex. Alex tried to go for one play, and then he just couldn't go. And Colton got to play a ton, and they both performed very well, and that'll help us down the road. And it didn't really hurt us on Saturday night. They both performed well. I think, Freddie, it was really his first action, and so he was, at times it was, a little fast for him, but boy, I thought he really adjusted well.
On the penalty front in season, how much can you really do to try and get that turned around?
The penalties that bother me are the non-aggressive penalties. A false start bothers me, a misaligned formation bothers me, because those are concentration errors. And so we just have to really emphasize those in practice, emphasize them in meetings. Guys got to lock in and do a better job in those situations. There's going to be some penalties. The one on Kenny Walker. It's really hard to get on him about that. He's peeling back. He's got a really good player chasing his quarterback. He's trying to protect him, and he puts, he's about $160, and he tries to put a hit on a guy to protect his quarterback, and they call it targeting. And I don't know if it was or wasn't, but it was because he got ejected. So it's hard to critique a guy. They say, hey, lower your aiming point, but it's the concentration errors that I think are frustrating for a coach and for a player and for a team.
That Peyton pick plays. I mean, do you coach up at all about that, or is it?
Well, if you look at it on film, Peyton was actually trying to avoid the guy. I mean, he pulled his arms up to avoid the guy, and the guy ran into him, and then Jordan ended up catching it. So, just that's the kind of the breaks of the game sometimes. Everybody sees things a little bit differently. Obviously, the backward pass I saw a little bit differently than they saw. Fortunately, it worked out. It's the very first time I've challenged a play in 4 years. Thank goodness I had a good angle there.
You've had guys called for targeting twice this year, and they've been kicked out. Would you like, and people have been talking about the rule on college football, would you like to see that revisited?
I would like to see it revisited. I don't know that it needs to be changed, but I think it needs to be evaluated. I don't know if you guys saw the Michigan game yesterday where the guy got thrown down on the guy, and they called him for targeting, and they reviewed it, and they upheld it. And that's, as a guy that's kind of likes football a little bit, that's frustrating. I think though that what's really important is that we always continue to make player safety a priority and a premium. But at the same time, we have to realize that this is football, and it is a violent and it's a contact sport. Try to find a happy medium. I just think the penalty is so severe sometimes that we just have to really make sure that it's being officiated right, and it's being judged right, and it's being interpreted right, and all those taught right, all those things.
You ever thought you'd live to see the day where a 180-pound receiver was called for targeting?
No, I didn't ever think I'd see that, but I've the more games you coach, the more you see. So I'm just hoping I make it to 600.
You ever see anything like the end of the Michigan State
No,
game?
that was oh my goodness. We were obviously working, and Demetrius Martin went to Michigan State, and so and then Courtney Morgan, who used to work here, went to Michigan, and they were on the phone back and forth the whole time, and the whole office just went crazy. We went out, and Demetrius started singing the Michigan State fight song, and he's calling Courtney, and it was just, wow, that was unbelievable. I mean, I guess that's a great thing about sports and competition is you just never know what's going to happen. You go out there and you play your hardest and you do your best. And what did Coach the Michigan State coach said? He said we really unleashed it. I don't know what he said. Something funny after the game. I mean, everyone was in shock. So tough on that kid.
All right, thanks guys.
All right.